tassa bhagavato arahato sammāsambuddhasa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammāsambuddhasa. So coming into a steady, still posture for meditation. That could be seated or lying down. Any sitting posture that supports both alertness, brightness, uprightness, and ease, relaxing, calm. And I want to start us off this evening with a little, it's almost like an assessment. And this is using eyes open and then eyes closed. So we'll try both. If your eyes are already closed, start with eyes closed. If your eyes are open, start with eyes open. If your eyes are open, let your gaze settle on a spot you can see, a little bit in front of you and a little down. It can help to let the eyelids relax, so maybe the eyes are half closed, so you don't have to blink quite as much, or the eyes can just be soft without strain. And let your eyes stick to one spot for a little bit. And see if you can sense the quality of your focus, the quality of your mind. Is it easy to keep the attention in one spot, or is your attention drawn toward other things in the visual space? Your phone, the windows, other objects. And when you let your gaze rest on one spot, does your mind settle down, at least initially, for this first few seconds? If you've got your eyes closed, you're doing the same thing internally. You're working with the breath or the posture. And again, noticing if your mind settles, if it's comfortable to be there, or if your attention is drawn to other things in the internal space, aches and pains, other sensations. And then whichever one of those two you've done, switch. So if you had your eyes closed and you were sensing the internal space, now open your eyes, let them settle on a point, and sense the external space, and vice versa. If your eyes were closed, if your eyes were open, now close them. Sense the internal space. And just as with the external, with the internal, you're letting your attention go to one place. Maybe that's the tip of the nose or the chest or the belly with the breath, or that's the sense of the body and its posture, but from the inside. If when your eyes are closed, the mind feels like it's pulled a lot into thought, memory, planning, anxiety, notice that. All right, so letting go of that exploration or assessment, the meditation I will encourage you to play with this time is to do whichever one of those is less easy this evening or this moment which you're in. Because if you do the one that feels easier or more natural, that's probably the place where you're more likely to get distracted, because there's more content there that's interesting to you. So if you want to keep your eyes open, there might be the sense that there's a lot externally that's occupying you. And then you might close your eyes and step away from all that, and going inward may feel restful and stabilizing. So in that case, if the external feels like it's pulling your attention, that's kind of where your attention wants to go. But also where your attention, easily sticks, do the other as a way to be in a slightly more unfamiliar space for your state. And then you have to work a little harder, but also that's not where your distraction tendency is in this moment. Does this make sense? On the other hand, if internal is where I kind of want to be, that might be because there's a lot of content. Oh, there's a lot of things going on to distract me, or it feels like my attention can kind of settle easily there, like I want to be in. Then I might play with letting the attention be external. I have to work at it a little more, and I'm training myself in focus a little bit. So we'll take the first few minutes of the meditation to do this, and then I'll open it to doing whatever you want. And of course, you can always do whatever you want. So, and welcome to folks who are joining us. We're playing between meditating with eyes open, focusing on a point, generally down and in front of you a little ways, so the eyes can be soft but steady, or closing the eyes and having intention focus on an internal experience like the breath in the belly or chest or nose, or the body in its posture. And particularly if one of those two is habitual, or if you struggle with focus in one of those two, do the other one. And particularly in this evening's sitting, do the one that feels less intuitive for a few minutes. And what we're looking for here is that the extra bit of effort it takes to engage this different focal point actually has the result fairly quickly of bringing the mind into some stability, partly because you have to be a little more alert and work at it a little more. So play with that. Choose one, don't think about it too much, and then stay with that for the next few minutes. And choose what you're focusing on and whether it's internal or external. And then it's just a meditation. Keep the attention there. When the mind wanders, bring it back. Relax no matter what you're doing, and see if you can soften everything that's not doing the effort of focusing and stabilizing. So in noticing the quality of your attention, you can begin to tune that attention, generally tuning toward more stability and less intensity of effort. So I'm relaxing or encouraging calm all around the point of focus. And even the muscles of focus themselves are engaged just the minimum necessary to maintain the stability. And particularly relaxing through the whole body. Attention can be very focused with the body very relaxed. And the body has to be relaxed for focus or attention to stabilize, to build, and to sustain. So relaxing, steadying, whatever you're attending to. Noticing the effect of this exercise in focus on the quality of the attention available to you, and on particularly whether the sense of attention sustaining is different than usual. If you have the sense that you can sustain your attention, and go from here into an open meditation space. If you have a norm of closing the eyes or keeping them softly open, you can do that, of course. The encouragement is to be particularly attentive to these basic qualities of focus and sustain. And that it's not so important what you're doing in your meditation as much as the strengthening of these basic qualities. Is there a stable focus on the point of your choosing? And can you sustain that focus for several minutes? Or when you lose it, you lose the focus, that there's mindfulness quickly coming back. And the felt sense that we're practicing toward initially is just the sense of being able to stay present with what we aim the mind toward, aim the attention toward, in a sustained way, with ease and pleasure through the whole body. Breathing and relaxing more and more. So we'll sit in silence together in this way. If you've been holding a more constrained focus, you might let that relax even further now. It's coming to the end of our sitting. To close, we're going to, or I will, chant in English a passage from the morning puja. This is a passage honoring the triple gem of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and then what the text calls a passage of encouragement. It touches into a bit the theme that we'll look at this evening. So you can chant with this, or you can continue to meditate through this short chant. Now let us chant our salutation to the triple gem and a passage of encouragement. The Buddha, absolutely pure with ocean-like compassion, possessing the clear sight of wisdom, destroyer of worldly self-corruption, devotedly indeed that Buddha I revere, the teaching of the Lord like a lamp, illuminating the path and its fruit, the deathless, that which is beyond the conditioned world, devotedly indeed that Dhamma I revere, the Sangha, the most fertile ground for cultivation, those who have realized peace, awakened after the accomplished one, noble and wise, all longing abandoned, devotedly indeed that Sangha I revere. This salutation should be made to that which is worthy. Through the power of such good action, may all obstacles disappear. One who knows things as they are has come into this world, and he is an arahant, a perfectly awakened being, purifying the way leading out of delusion, calming and directing to perfect peace, and leading to enlightenment. This way he has made known. Having heard the teaching, we know this. Birth is dukkha, aging is dukkha, and death is dukkha. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are dukkha. Association with the disliked is dukkha. Separation from the liked is dukkha. Not attaining one's wishes is dukkha. In brief, the 5 focuses of the grasping mind are dukkha. These are as follows: attachment to form, attachment to feeling, attachment to perception, attachment to karmic formations, attachment to sense consciousness. For the complete understanding of this, the Blessed One in his lifetime frequently instructed his disciples in just this way. In addition, he further instructed, form is impermanent, feeling is impermanent, perception is impermanent, karmic formations are impermanent, sense consciousness is impermanent, form is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, karmic formations are not self, sense consciousness is not self. All conditions are impermanent. There is no self in the created or the uncreated. All of us are bound by birth, aging, and death, by sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, bound by dukkha and obstructed by dukkha. Let us all aspire to complete freedom from suffering.